Welcome back to Those Vegan Chefs. I'm Stefan, and this channel is dedicated to making you a better vegan cook. Today we have a vegan cacciatore dish featuring celery root that's lightly roasted and stewed. So I think it's time to jump in a video and cook this amazing dish. Let's go. See, I've chosen to leave the skin on. I really like the contrast in texture that it brings. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the celery root in half without me hurting myself. And then we're going to cut nice, thick, 1-inch pieces. The celery root sliced. We're going to season our flour mixture. We have our half a cup of flour. We're going to add 1 tablespoon mushroom powder. Hit it with a pinch of kosher salt. We're basically going to dredge the celery root just to cover. We're going to heat our large pot over medium heat, medium-low. The goal is to brown the flour without burning the flour because we want to retain the oil in the pan and the flour. It's going to help make the sauce very shiny and a little bit thickened. So we're going to add our 1/4 cup olive oil. Our oil's warm. See, we have some little bubbles popping up right there. Perfect. Turn it down just a touch. We're going to brown both sides. Right, that's enough for the pan. It's not overcrowded, but it's full, so we're, accomplishing enough at once. There we go. It's all working. The oil is looking nice. We have a little bit of caramelization. It's turning light brown. Looking absolutely stunning. You really can smell the sweetness coming off the celery root. It's such a beautiful aroma. This guy is going in the oven 400 degrees for roughly 10 to 12 minutes. We're going to start building our cacciatore. We're going to start with a very large button mushroom. We're just going to cut it pretty much right in half. We're going to put it straight in to the pan, and we're going to put just enough in the pan so that we could get some beautiful deep dark color on the mushrooms. Now this is a 1-pan meal technically. However, I really like the idea of treating each of these elements with a little bit more time and care. So we're able to really caramelize the mushrooms and extract just a ton of flavor out of them by starting them first. And we're continuing to flavor this oil as we go. The mushrooms are deep and dark, beautifully caramelized. We're going to flip them. And now we're going to season them at this point. There's still a ton of texture left in the mushrooms. Next, we're going to caramelize lightly sliced yellow onion and 4 cloves of garlic. So essentially what we're doing is we're building flavors and textures. And we're going to have each individual ingredient taken care of, and then we're going to combine them all and allow it to cook together. So while this guy is caramelizing, we're going to prep this guy. We're going to cut nice, thick strips. Let's check out the onions. Yep, we have some caramelization going on. We're going to go ahead and remove the onions. Add our bell peppers, and we're going to turn the pan on a lower heat. We're actually going to do reverse. We're going to start low, have the peppers sweating just a little bit, and then we're going to increase the heat to have all of the liquid reduced and slightly caramelized. And we're going to salt actually in the beginning to help speed up the process of the peppers releasing their liquid. So we have it on low, it's right around 3 or 4. We're gonna put it on 4. And then we're gonna increase the heat as the liquids release their juice. The peppers are looking good. They didn't release as much water, not water, but liquid as I was thinking they would, but we're getting some nice little charring pieces. They're really sweating down. Perfect. We're gonna continue to build our flavors. Next, we're adding our oregano, chili flakes, and fennel seed. We're adding our capers. We're going to add our green olives with the garlic in the middle. We're just going to cut them right in half so they have the 2 round ends. I guess that's horizontally. I like the big pieces, keeping with our theme of large chunks of vegetable. That's our olives. It's about a cup. Make sure you get that juice that's left behind. Just add it to the pan. We're going to continue to cook all of these together to let the dried spices start to release their essential oils. Let the capers and the olives kind of get going. Just a minute or 2. Next, we're going to add half a cup of white wine. We're going to let that reduce by half. After that step, we're pretty much going to add all of the remaining ingredients, and we're going to let it simmer, covered but slightly open so that some of the steam can leave and help the sauce evaporate. We have the reducing of the white wine by about half. We're going to add our onions. We're going to add our mushrooms. Make sure you get that mushroom liquid that's at the bottom. We're going to add our crushed roasted tomatoes. Got to stir. We're going to add our vegetable broth. We're going to add black vinegar. We're going to turn it on medium. We're going to bring it up to just that very first boil. We're going to reduce the heat and we're going to cover it. Okay, you can see it's just starting to come to a boil right there, right there. That's perfect. We're just going to give it the tiniest little shake. We're going to reduce the heat to low. We're going to cover it, but we're going to have that little area right there. We're going to cook for roughly 30 minutes. We've been cooking for about 35 minutes. You can see how much it's reduced. It's really thick. It's creamy. All the vegetables are cooking beautifully. So basically we're just gonna kind of decoratively place the celery root into the cacciatore, and then we're gonna pop it in the oven for just, like 15 minutes to kind of heat everything up, kind of let the celery root take on some of the cacciatore flavors, and then we're gonna garnish it and we're gonna serve it. Let's go. Out of the oven, I pulled it out just as soon as we started to see the sides bubbling. It's perfect. There's a little more color on the celery root. It has kind of like this little dehydrated look to it. The last touch is we're just going to garnish with like some really nice, beautiful flat leaf Italian parsley. We're just going to sprinkle it. We're going to let it cool down just a little bit before we dive in. What a beautiful stewed dish. We have the olives, the capers, this totally briny flavor running through the whole dish. Stewed peppers, the tomatoes. It really is full of big, bold, assertive flavors. And then it's topped with our celery root, which is like sweet and caramelized. It's the perfect counterbalance to the entire dish. I think it's time to take a bite and see what's really going on with this bad boy. Woo! All right. Big olive, big mushroom. I love the big chunks of vegetables, the mushrooms, and that olive just goes hello, and it just cleans up the whole dish. It's amazing. Now, a perfect side for this is some pasta, and of course, our ultimate vegan garlic bread. I should have made that for today so I could be having that right now with it, but I totally spaced it, but you won't. As always, see you next week. Bye.